Well, you've all made it to the site where 19 Granite Mountain Hotshots died on June 30th. This is exactly the ground that they died on. This is a pretty emotional place to be for me right now. This was all green at the time. They saw that the fire activity was picking up and it had turned a little bit, and there was a line of fire from the ridge top beyond where they were down lower into the valley, probably a mile or two, mile and a half line of fire in its chaparral that started to move to the south. And I believe that they felt that they weren't doing good where they were at. They had to abandon their tactic of trying to anchor and flank the fire and go into what we call point protection, and that's to move fire around the houses and protect structures. I believe that that's what their intent was. And when they moved down off of there, they're carrying 40 or 50 pounds of tools, equipment in a pack, upwards of 70 pounds when you put a saw and the fuel and stuff on their backs, and they were moving down to protect this house. That's my theory on it. When they got over the saddle and they got below this ridge line of rocks here, the fire is totally blocked from their view. They can't see the fire over in that point, so they've committed to go downhill at this point. At that point, that's when things started to change dynamically with the weather. We had some tremendous outflows, and basically on some fire behavior stuff that we've looked at, the fire was able to come around here and in this drainage and moved up this way. They had committed to go downhill. They were committed to come downhill. They probably saw the fire in this area, and then were looking for a place because they knew that they had fire on both sides of them. They had fire behind them, and now they have fire ahead of them. And so at the site that's fenced behind me, they began to do some work. And the time frame is really, really short that they had to work. They started cutting out a safety zone with their saws. And at about 4:45, somewhere in that range, the fire was moving up to them. My understanding, the last radio transmission was that they were going to burn out around them, and what that means is they were going to light a backfire around the circle that they had cut out for their safety zone, and then they deployed their shelters there. We had we had no radio transmissions or anything else behind them. So the fire came around this drainage and came up this way, and for an hour and a half or so, and I don't know the exact minutes on it, we lost contact with them at that point in time. So right in that fenced area is where they deployed, where they died, and that is basically the events that we know. But I can tell you that they died with honor, that they stuck together. One of the things that is very unique about this situation is 19 firefighters saw and felt the same way. Nobody cut and run the other direction. Nobody tried to get out of the way. They all deployed. They were a very cohesive team, and they were in a very tight deployment area. All of their shelters were pulled, and they all deployed at the same time, and they all died in this location.